Hey, powerful being. If you gotta choose between this, that, or they, I want to remind you to choose you. Choosing you has more to do with saying, man, I choose myself, and then doing everything against you. Choosing you says, I'm not only just choosing myself with words, I'm choosing myself and backed up by proper actions. So when you choose yourself, you say, hey, I'm choosing me because I understand that without me, I can't experience life. A lot of times we choose everything else but us. And what I mean by that is we don't choose what's best for us, what's best for our mind, our body, our spirit. It's like we put everybody's needs first before our needs. So this is a sign that your needs matter. You matter. Listen, what you bring to them is very important, and they need you. You need them. You love them. They love you. But you can't give the love if your temple doesn't have it. You can't give it when the temple is breaking down, so you got to take care of you. So the reason why I'm here today, the reason I got this message in my heart, is to remind you to choose you. So let's say you're in a relationship with many people and you try to decide which person to choose. Choose you. And by that I mean, choose what's going to be best for you. A lot of times we do things to please people. We have to do things to please God. Listen, people will use your pleasing to abuse you, but God will use your pleasing to elevate you. Listen, don't try to please man, please God. And you will live a pleasing life. Here's what I mean. When we try to please man, we try to do the things that we think will make them accept us. That's what it means to please man. Oh, they will accept me if I do this. Listen, God has already accepted and fortified you. He already certified you. Right? You're certified already. Why are you looking for other people's certification, huh? Listen, you've been endowed with greatness the moment you came here. Like your face is your certification, all right? So what I'm saying to you is, you don't need to choose them, this, or that. Choose you, baby. And what I mean by that is, listen, if tomorrow you do something for them and you completely ignore yourself and you say you're being selfless, guess what? You're losing some of yourself. The more you say, hey, I'm going to forget my needs completely, and I think that's going to be selfless. But we don't realize that, when you realize that when you take care of you, it's not selfish. When you take care of you, you elevate yourself to the level where you add way more value to other people. Like, some people think that, you know what? I'm not going to be in a relationship with this person right now, and, I'm going to break their hearts or something. Listen, not necessarily. If it's that much tension to be in a relationship, it's probably better for you to give attention to the relationship with yourself. I'm going to try to tap in. By the way, share this video to 5 friends, comment done. Because I'm already getting a sense that I'm about to go all in, all right? All right, I feel it. I'm about to comment right here. Share this video to 5 friends. I'm just getting started. I'm just getting started. Come back when you're ready, because just because the momentum went down don't mean the message ain't coming. Y'all just stick through. I'm just commenting something. There we go. Share this video to 5 friends, comment done. Alright, y'all, I'm about to go to the next level of growth right now. Alright, y'all, make sure y'all share this video now. Okay? Because I'm about to get in the spirit. When I get in the spirit, the word comes. Alright. So choosing you, first, you can't choose somebody you don't know about. That's number one. Like, well, I'm choosing me. Well, are you really choosing you? I say this all the time. Who are you? Somebody want to look at me. What do you mean, who am I, Ed? What this guy talking about here? Who are you? Like, for real. Are you your body? Are you your mind? Are you your emotions? Or are you a spirit? Unless you know who you are, you're not even choosing you. You're choosing the past versions of you and you're claiming it to be you. Unless you know who you are, you're choosing your past and you're claiming that to be you. Unless you know who you are, you're choosing things and claiming that those things is you. Unless you know who you are, you could be choosing circumstances and claiming that the circumstances are you. Somebody said, this is all I've always known. Well, if this is all you've always known, it's probably time to change it. What I'm saying is sometimes we think we're choosing us, but what we're really doing is choosing the memory of us. What we're really doing is choosing the persona of us. What we're really doing is choosing the same being that we ought to let go at this point, because we have elevated past that point. So sometimes while we think we're choosing us, we're not really choosing us. We choosing who we used to be. We chasing who we used to be. I'm asking you to choose how you can possibly be. I'm asking you to choose the possibilities of your spirit and not the condemnation of your carnal body. And by that I mean is, no matter how you've been up into this point, you can choose to be differently. Listen, somebody says, well, I'm always like this. It just seemed like I can't change. Yes, you can. As soon as you understand that the I that's always been like this is not really you. The I that's always been like this is how you've perceived yourself to be up into this point. Once you realize that the I within you is an I that is transformative, you are never burdened by you. You're freed by the very being that is within you. It's when you realize, like, yo, I have infinite possibilities for my life. I want you to think of how you thought 2 years ago. Do you think the same way now? How you was thinking 5 years ago, are you thinking the same way now? How you were living, your lifestyle, the choices you were making, are you making the same choices now? Now, if the answer is yes, something needs to evolve, but most likely, to some extent, you've changed. They say that what you do today will yield the results in 6 months. So let me ask you, if you've evolved up into this point, can't you evolve it further? If you've gotten farther than you were before, can't you walk a little bit more? Of course you can. But once you say that I am condemned to my past, by all means you are condemned. Once you say I'm stuck and I'm always like this, by all means you're stuck and always like this. Once you say I can never change, you are claiming it into your life. Somebody says, well, this seems very simple. It's not, I've never heard that before. Well, I know you've heard it. I'm not here to tell you anything you haven't heard before. I'm here to remind you. I'm a reminder. I'm here to remind you to not make your mind the same again. Stop reminding yourself to the past. Remind yourself that you have a possibility of a better future. When you make the mind the same again, you are taking what happened then and you're bringing it to now. When you're making your mind the same again, you are claiming the past as the present. When you making the mind the same again, you are foreseeing the future as a repetition of the past. The power of life and death is in the tongue. I need you to speak life into you. The power of creation or condemnation is in the tongue. I need you to speak life into you. So while most people are waking up saying, listen, look at you. You always like shame, blame, guilt doesn't do much for you. Now, do they tell you stuff? Of course they do. They tell you a whole lot. They're communicators. As communicators, we got to listen to things that communicate to us, but don't let it condemn us. Now, somebody said this. Don't let somebody else's opinion becomes your reality. That was powerful. Les Brown says this. Don't let somebody else's opinion becomes your reality. So guess what? People are going to project their opinions on you. Once you make it a reality is the moment you accept it. Some of us, we accepted something at 5 years old. Now we're living it out. We're 50. We're 25. We're 21. And we're living out what we accepted. Stop accepting what they said as what's possible for you. Because what they said is what they could see. But now that you stepped up on a ladder of self-improvement, you can see much bigger. I need you to see what's available for you and not what they said. They said, well, listen, you always be like your mother. You always be like your father. Listen, don't believe them. They're only telling you what they are. And I want to let you know that their condemnation on you does not have to be your box. Now, people will put you in a box. They will put their limitations on you. They'll put their limitations on you because they're scared. Listen, that's them. Listen, you got to feel for them sometimes. You got to share some compassion, man. Man, I wish you can be up to this level, baby. I wish, but you're going to be up there one day. But what I'm saying is, don't take somebody's limitations and set it as your cap, as your bar. You took their limitations. Well, this is where I can hit. Listen, I'm here to tell you that, listen, you can hit all the way up here. And somebody says, how are you so certain of this, Ed? Listen, I look into your eyes, I see a spirit. If you look into your eyes and you see your past, I look into your eyes and I see a spirit. I see a spirit of possibilities. So now you're like, you can't even see my eyes. How can you see me, Ed? Well, I can't see your eyes, but I can see your third eye. I can sense it. You're like, how? Because the spirit within me says this. I got the same spirit you got. And within my third eye, I see what's in me. And when I see that, I'm like, whoa, I like that. So I know it's in you because the Spirit of God is within man. And guess what? What's the difference between you and I? Besides a couple of cheekbone difference, besides a skin tone difference, besides a face, besides a body, besides my experience where I was brought up, besides what I identify as, besides those, what's the difference between you and I? Not much. Why? Because we're energy. At the end of the day, you and I came from the same source. So if we came from the same source, it means we're going back to the same source. It means that we are one. It means that the spirit that lies within me lies within you. So without knowing you, I know that you're a forever expansive being. I know that you have the wisdom within you to discover how to elevate yourself to wherever you want to go. Not only do I know that, I know that you have greatness within you. I know that you could create, you're going to create great things. You're creating great things with your life. Not only that, I know that your very presence is enough. That even if you didn't bring nothing out to the world, your very presence is suffice. Somebody says, well, I'm not doing too much in my life right now, That's why, I feel like they have one up on me because, it seems like what they're saying is true. My question is not what are you doing? My question is who are you being? Whether you're doing a whole lot or doing very little, if you're being the best you possibly can and experiencing life to its ultimate potential, that in itself is enough. When somebody says, well, I need to do something, I got to live my purpose. Well, of course you do. But I'm telling you, if you focus on how you can be the best of you, you're going to automatically start doing things that is interesting to you. A lot of times we think it's in the doing that's going to make us successful, but it's in the being that allows us to see what we can do. Somebody say, yo, how are you doing all of this? I bead long enough. Now it just comes out of me like, yo, where the words coming from, Ed? Well, guess what? These words have been cultivated through my being. It is through the times I just spend outside gardening that I cultivate a oneness with the universe, with God, that allows me when the time comes and I'm on stage, I'm able to give you what I've cultivated. So somebody says, listen, choose me. What does that mean? Choosing me says I'm going to cultivate me long enough so that whenever I go into any room, I bring that cultivation, baby. Somebody says, yo, your skin is glowing. You damn right. I've been doing that cultivation. Somebody say, you looking real good. Well, that's because I've worked within myself. You're like, oh, guess what? What if you let them judge what you eat? They're like, well, look at this person. He's only eating carrots and sticks. Look at him. He thinks he's better than everybody. So now you gave in. You're like, man, I was trying to be a vegetarian. They're talking shit about me. I don't know. I got to do it now. I got to eat. No, sweetie. No, boo-boo. Don't do that. Choose you. Listen, choose your health. Choose your vitality. They're going to say what they're going to say. Let them speak. And you keep walking the path. Listen, when you become the goat, they're going to look at you as the sheep. They say the sheep of the family becomes the goat. You the goat already, baby. You the goat. Because obviously they need to be following you. But guess what? They're flocking together. And they're like, oh, come to my herd. Listen, lions sometimes walk. Look, the wolves sometimes walk alone. Lions walk alone sometimes. I want to let you know that sometimes as the goat, you don't have to walk alone. You're like, wait, I didn't know this was in the process. No, it is, baby. It is. Walking alone is part of the process. You ever heard of the book, The Alchemist? When you walk alone, sometimes you're herding the sheep and God has you to walk alone so that you can talk to everything around you. You're like, oh, what does that mean? Am I hallucinating? No. Sometimes in your journey alone, you get insight you would not have with so much noise around. It's that simple. Like, if there's too much noise around, you can't hear nothing. It's like, wow, no wonder I can't hear the voice of God. Well, they talking too much shit in your ear. Well, excuse my French. But I'm just keeping it real. It's like, it's hard to hear the voice of God. There's so many noise. Now, here's the thing. They is not just they. Sometimes it's you. Let's be honest here. You're like, no. Okay, limited. We got 2 sources of sugar honey iced tea, okay? I get the urge not to curse sometimes. Especially when I mention G-O-D, I gotta keep it respectfully. You get what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna do that. So basically, you're hearing the stuff outside of you, and you were hearing the side inside of you, and none of them is serving you. The power of life and death is in the tongue. Why are you speaking death into you? They're already doing that. Listen, day by day, I'm talking about some of the people you love, some of the people you don't know, even the government, your job, Like all of they are speaking death into you. What? COVID-19, you gonna die today. No, you gonna learn who I am today. Right? You're not gonna speak that into my life. I'm not going to accept that. Listen, sometimes we have to be a rebel to mindsets. Because the way you set your mind will set the direction of your life. If you let somebody set the sail for you, you never know where your boat is going to end up. So you got to anchor yourself in the belief that you are not just in the river of man, but in the ocean of God. That's deep. What I mean by that is you have to realize that you're anchored in the ever expansive ocean of God and not in the river of man. A river has a stream that leads to one place. Well, every river leads to the ocean. But guess what? Rivers of man leads to the ocean of God. Do you want to dwell in rivers or do you want to go straight to the source? Let me ask you, what do you want? Do you want people to lead you that direction, or do you want God to show you what's all the possibilities that's available for you? So somebody says, well, this sounds good, but how do I do it? It is not a question of what you do. It's the question of how you see. It is a question of how you believe. It is a question of how you walk every single day. So a lot of times we're looking for strategies. Spiritual development is not strategies. It is epiphanies. To spiritually develop, it's not, oh, I need to do this so I can get that. This is cause and effect. This is not spirituality. This is almost like causality. Yeah, that's what it is. It rhymed right there. Cause and effect. It's not spirituality, but it's causality. It's like, I need to put forth this for that. And we're kind of living in this world. And, pseudo manifestation kind of. Like, if I light up the sage and I say something and I say it, and I will manifest. Now, I'm not saying that's not going to happen. Somebody told me lighting up the stage was actually cultural appropriation from the Native Americans. I guess it is. But I'm saying it is not the acts that will make you spiritual. It is the way of experiencing life that makes you spiritual. And spirituality is not a status symbol. It's not a status symbol or an identity. Well, I'm spiritual. No. It's not a status symbol, it's an identity. It's a realization. It's a realization. What is a realization, y'all? A realization is you step into what you already had. You realize. You step into what you possessed. A realization. So when you step into what you possess is when you own who you are. Choosing you. Own you. Somebody said, well, guess what, Ed? I'm trying to own me, but when I look at me, I'm kind of disappointed. Why are you disappointed? Well, I'm not in appointment with what I said I was going to do. But are you my question for you is, hey, you may not be in appointment with what you said you was going to do, but are you in appointment with who you say you were going to be? That's what really matters. So somebody says, well, I'm behind on my goals. Well, that's fine. You're like, boy, that's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Because the question is not whether you're behind on your goals, but the question is whether you're in front of who you used to be. Whether you're in front of the past pains. Are you in front of the past trauma? Have you circumpassed where you were internally, how you experience life? If you do nothing in this planet to accomplish anything, if you've elevated your being to a higher dimension of experiencing life, you became more successful. So somebody want to know, what do you mean? Guess what? Why shall a man gain the entire world to lose him or herself? And what I mean, what that means is this. You could gain everything, the status, the things, the position. But as soon as within you feel like something is missing within you, guess what? You have not even gained what you could possibly gain. But my question for you is, it's not whether you accomplish or don't accomplish. It's whether you can sit still here and accept that you are, as a being right now, is enough, is sufficient. That your value is enough. That your purpose is not necessarily this esoteric thing that takes a lot of you out of you to do. Your purpose is not something so distant. It is experiencing life to its fullest right now. So somebody says, man, I can't find my purpose. Well, you want to be purposefully driven? I want you to, like, to this rising, I thought to myself, listen, if I can call 5 of my family members today, I'm so purposefully. So my idea of purpose has shifted from I need to do so many different things to I just need to do the things that matter to me the most. So I'm changing my perspective. Now, I got other purposes, like you. Like, I wake up with you in my heart. And you're like, what do I mean by that? I wake up with the world. How do I bring love and value to the world? But then I wake up with the people that are closest to my heart. I'm thinking, how do I bring value to them? I wake up to myself. I'm like, how do I bring the utmost value to me? So I'm like, okay, if I make the best decisions today as it relates to what I eat, how I breathe, how I move, and how I elevate my being, I'm going to add a lot of value to me. I say, well, if I'm as loving and as if I can listen and I can be there for those I care about, then I'm adding value to them. Then I thought to myself, oh, if I can do the same for my tribe and my community, I'm adding value to them. Then I realized that, all that I was able to do is I was able to get myself in a high level of being so that I can bring my being to them. It's as if I cultivated my light and now I shine light on their lives simply by being. So it is not a question of what you do, but who you become. Who you become will be the doing. When you become the type of person that, it's just your very essence is enough. You walk in a room and you're valuable, like your work become you because you worked on you. Okay, I got the quotes. Yo, maybe just start writing the quotes down. Your work become you because you became the work and you did the work. Got to cultivate yourself to bring yourself out here. I'm going to say that 1,000 times. So y'all see me every day I'm cultivating my garden. So somebody says, well, Ed, when you going to take all the fruits out and sell them? Every day I'm giving the fruits. Listen, I don't have to sell all my fruits. I'm cultivating my garden. I give them out for free. I'm giving you the fruits right now. You might not know this, but what I'm giving you right now is worth a lot. Somebody one day is going to call me up. In fact, hopefully by this week, somebody's going to say, Ed, I need to pay you $5,000 right now to go speak. That's what I'm going to be doing. I'm looking for these speaking gigs. So what I'm saying to you is what I cultivated in me and that I'm doing so effortlessly is so valuable to the world. People are literally waiting for me right now. In fact, let's attract some of that. They're waiting for me. They got the 10K already. They got the 20K for 1 hour. But I'm doing it for 0. Because what I'm doing is I cultivated my garden every day. I'm doing it every single day. I never stop. What I'm doing every day, I take a little fruit. I'm like, here, you go. Eat that. See how it tastes like. You're like, oh, that tastes really good. You're like, man, I ought to go cultivate my garden. So you go cultivate your garden. You're like, oh, eat that. Guess what? There's an energy. Spirituality is not what you do, it's who you become. And by becoming that, you automatically start doing great things. So somebody hit me up and said, Ed, you really inspired me. You transformed my life. I was like, man, I was just being me. How did I? Well, all I did was I brought who I was to the world. So somebody says, well, I need permission to be me, Ed. That's how I feel like. Well, guess what? I'm not going to give you permission. I need you to give yourself permission. Because there's permission means one mission, and the one mission is the mission of God. So you were endowed with greatness. God gave you permission before you got started. Somebody, well, I got this dream, I got this vision, I got this goal, but I don't necessarily know if I can do it. If you got it, then you can do it. Listen, you're not going to have something in you that you can't bring out. You think the creator is working? No. Somebody said, well, I'm not there yet. I got to elevate. I got to level a little bit up. I got to get up there a little bit, But guess what? A couple of years ago, I sat to myself. I was like, man, I want to inspire people. I said this. One day I was sitting with my client, and she was saying how she was having, she wanted to lose weight, but she had a eating disorder, and with her food, that she was having a relationship with food. And I was sitting there, I was thinking to myself, like, well, I'm an amazing personal trainer. I can help her with her body. I understand where she's coming from, but I don't have the the words yet or the information to help her with this. And I was like, man, people are suffering with this, and I want to be able to help her. So I thought to myself, how do I be more holistic? How do I look at all aspects so I can really help? So what I did was I sought. And once you seek, you will find. So as I sought, and as I was being, I started to, now if you come to me with that, I can help you in multiple facets. I wanted to speak. I was a mute. I didn't speak till I was like 3 or something like that. And 3 years ago, I didn't speak like this. I used to think, what do I need to say? Now, I don't need to think to say. I just need to be. Somebody says, well, how do you come up with all of this? I'm not coming up with nothing. I'm just here. I'm being used. And I'm not abusing me anymore. The moment I decided that I'm all that I need, and all I need is in me, was the moment I started to express myself. The moment I started to express myself is the moment I realized I created the beautiful things. Now, the gap between your realization and the world's realization is called the process. Your realization, self-realization, is when you step into your power and you're like, I am great. Societal realization is called success, all right? Self-realization is called, man, I know who I am. Societal realization is, oh, we know who he is. You get what I'm saying? There's a gap. Now, I know who I am. They just don't know yet. You get what I'm saying? I know, baby. Like, but they don't. So now, the gap is me just coming here and doing this every day. Like somebody says, well, Ed, you know, you only got 5 people on here. When you gonna have 50? I'm not worried about 50. Listen, if you 5 touch 10, I've reached 50. And you did. And we did. In fact, let's not say I. We. The I am reached 50. How about that? Because it's not me. I told you we're one. So if I impact you and you go and you tell your kid something powerful today in relation to what you just felt, I've impacted somebody else. We've impacted. So the Spirit of God that's within me have impacted more than 5 people. Done. So sometimes we have doubt that what we're doing is enough, or that people are listening and that we're successful yet. I just want you to know, trust the process. I never quit. I never give up. I'm never going to surrender. Because it's not what I get that matters. It's who you become. It's not what I get that matters. It's what the world becomes. What will it make of you to achieve what you want? Now, you want to get to a point where you can sit and just be okay with sitting. That's it. I'm just okay with sitting. Like, I don't need nothing. Like, the simplicity of my life had gotten to a point where I realized that I am all the value there is. And I am just so certain of my future. I have no form of uncertainty of where I'm going. It's just that I am so certain of the success, because what I know is I'm already successful. I want y'all to repeat this. If you're powerful, now you're going to repeat this after me, okay? Now I don't care where you at. I'm like, man, I'm in the bathroom, Ed. Well, say it with your solar plexus. Say it with your chest. Say it with your chest. Okay. Calm down. Okay. So, if you're successful, and you're going to say this after me, it means that I am full of success. All right? I want you to repeat that. I had the kids say it. They would say, if you're success, it means I'm full of success. They would say it with their chest. So, you an adult. You're a grown woman or man. If you're successful, it means I'm full of success. If I'm powerful, it means I'm full of power. If I am beautiful, it means I'm full of beauty. So nothing that I'm full of is from outside, it's within me. So I can never lose success because I am success. I can never lose beauty because I am beauty. And I can never lose power because I am powerful. Whatever you think you got outside of you is what came out from inside and you brought out. So somebody says, well, I feel a certain way. They made me feel this way. Well, did they? You sure they made you feel that way? They didn't make you feel that way. You perceive what they said and you felt that way. They didn't make you feel no way. It is your perception that experiences life, and not it is your reception that causes the perception of what they said. So the same thing you see right now, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Now I'll tell you, I used to listen to Wayne Dyer and Eric Tart, all these speakers, and I was like, man, they're so cool. Like, one day maybe I'll be like that. But I would try to be them in the beginning. I would try to, okay, how do they speak? And this helped me a lot, by the way. You know, it helped my public speaking, right? Because I know how to utilize the words in a great fashion. I study this. I'm like, you got to study too, okay? But I used to want to be like them. It wasn't until I realized that I needed to change the way I look at things that my things started to change. Then I discovered it wasn't that I needed to be like them. It isn't that I needed to think like them. It's that I needed to evolve my thinking just to the point I was myself completely. So what they taught me was they gave me the tools for me to step up to see. The moment I saw me. Now I just bring you out of me. So now, instead of me being Wayne Dyer, I'm Edward Giles, the holistic motivator. That's right. #1 holistic motivational speaker in the world. Right? So I know I too will be like one of those pillars. And you're like, why? Well, the spirit wants to expand. Somebody says, well, that sounds like a good goal. You mean to tell me you're really putting yourself in the space of the greats? Yeah. I'm talking about I am with Les Brown. I am with Wade Dye. I am with Eric Thomas. I am with Jim Rohn. I am. And I'll be from the island. I'll be the Haitian boy. So I would hear Les Brown talk about his story, and he's like, I'm from Miami, and I'm from Miami. And he was like, I used to be homeless. I'm like, I used to be homeless. He was like, I went 6 years. I worked on my business. I wasn't successful. The next 6 years, it just blew up. And then I started to say, hey, there's a court. And then Les Brown was born on the same birthday as me. But I heard his story, and I'm like, man, this looks very similar. I am telling you, if you really knew who you were, you would walk with such certainty while everybody's like, what you doing? You're like, man, I ain't even worried, baby. Like, they're like, where you going? I know, I'm going right there. Like, but what you doing? So every day, I'm watering a bamboo tree, and people might wonder, like, yo, where the tree? And I'm like, yo, don't worry, it's growing underground. Don't worry about it. They're like, what you mean? It's growing underground. Like, but every day I gotta water it. I'm fertilizing it. They're like, where is it at, Ed? I'm like, don't worry, chill, vibe out. Listen, sometimes your tree is gonna be so tall, God has to root you so deep. Okay. I'm dropping the gems. Quotes. Yo, what I mean, like, if the roots are at the surface, guess what? The tree will fall over any storm. But once there's a level of height God wants you to reach, He gotta put you way deeper. Like, you have to hit bedrock if you want to build a big, strong building. If you build on sand, you will waver to the wayside. Don't build your home on sand. Sand is instant gratification. Sand is, I need this tomorrow. Listen, God didn't give it to you tomorrow because God is trying to get you deep. Now, guess what? I feel as if a year, 2 years ago, I could have spoke to stages of 100,000 people or more. But man, I feel like when I speak to a state of 100,000 people or more now, people gonna walk out of that room, their life's gonna shift. Because I could put my heart and soul in it now. I've had more experience in it now. I feel it. Now I bring about a different energy. So sometimes God is preparing you and you're like, yo, I need to be out here right now. He's not trying to break you. He's not trying to hurt you. He's trying to redesign you. Man, the next model of you is on the other side of your work. But the way you assemble yourself is based on the work ethic. Listen, if your work ethic right now has been only towards what you're doing, I need you to start focusing on who you be. If you chose everybody else but you, I need you to choose you. Okay? Because at the end of the day, when they leave and abuse you, all you got is you. If they leave and abuse you, all you got is you. So once you work on you, you never lose nothing. So they left. So what they left? You here. You get what I'm saying? So you need to have a certain certainty about life. And let the uncertainty excite you. I have a certainty about my future. In fact, I see it so vividly that it's almost like I think I already have it. I've been experiencing deja vus of what I've experienced. But it's like, where did this come from? Maybe I've already seen it. I don't know. Maybe it's already in my... But what I'm telling you is this. Your level of belief have to be so much that it's like, it scares people. But man, it has to get to the point where people are like, man, this person is full of themselves. You're doggone right. You're full of you. If last time somebody says you're full of you, but like, well, what are you full of? Okay, that's a joke. That's just a jokey joke. Okay, I'm full of me, but what are you full of? Are you full of shit? You know what I'm saying? I'm full of the spirit. You being full of your backed up ideas. I'm full of me. Okay? And me is expansive. I know who I am. So I'm confident. I'm sorry, boo-boo. I can't change you. But at least I thought you would feed off my confidence, but now all of a sudden you feel bad because I'm confident. I'm sorry. I don't know what to do about that. No, I'm sorry. It's a term, but I don't mean that. I am not sorry. Don't apologize for your greatness. Okay? Wrong words. Wrong choice of words. You got to catch yourself sometimes, by the way. I catch myself all the time, you know? That's called consciousness. To be able to catch yourself. Consciousness is not being perfect. Okay? It's noticing your imperfections in the midst of. So you don't have to apologize for you being full of you as soon as you're being full of the true you. Now, some people, they're full of their pseudo selves. And, you know, it's where they're at. Okay, it's where they're at. But they're not true of the truth. They're not full of their true selves. So some people are full of a mask. And what I mean is they're wearing a face. It's not them. So let me answer this question. Is perfection attainable? That's a good question. Let me answer that. Perfection, if you want perfection, it's not perfection you want. Is you want to fulfill the desires of your ego. You want to be better than them. That's what perfection is. I want to be better. In fact, that's what the idea of greatness is about. So, in seeking for perfection it's almost like seeking to be the best in a way. Now, that's really what we mean when we mean by perfection. Because when you want to be perfect, why do you really want to be perfect? A lot of times it's because we want to please, or we want somebody to look at us a certain way. A lot of times the perfection we seek ain't even for the attainment of spiritual elevation. Sometimes the perfection we speak is just for some kudos of somebody who don't even care. So sometimes we try to be perfect to please them. But it's not in trying to be perfect to please them that makes us perfect. But it's understanding that perfection is in aligning yourself with the divine. Please God, not them. So perfection is attainable in a way where you can be perfectly in line with the divine. Not in a way when you're perfect without flaws. To be perfectly in line with the divine is not to be perfect without flaws. To be perfectly in line with the divine is to understand that you are flawed, but regardless of it, you are also tapped into spiritual laws, and that within it you can create a perfection in you, how you experience life, how you create in the world, and not necessarily a perfection that says, oh, I'm better than them, but a perfection that says I am in tune with him or the one. A perfection that says I am aligned with my higher being. It is a different form of perfection. It's not a competition of perfection. It's an alignment of your carnal and your higher self. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that I'm going to be flawless. It's that I'm going to realize the false laws that I've set for myself. That's what I call flaws. False laws. And I'm going to step into the spiritual laws as much as I can. So it goes deeper. You know, I give deeper answers. So perfection in the form of aligning with God, in the form of being in one, is attainable. But when you try to be perfect in the eyes of man, they all have their own way of looking at perfection, so you'll never be. So try to be perfect in the society, somebody always will find something wrong with you. Shoot, I might be doing good. I might be motivating you right now. Somebody says, what's wrong with that guy? Why are you doing that? Why are you talking about that? He's talking about holistic wellness. What are you talking about? Don't eat meat? What? This dude. So when you try to be perfect for man, you'll never be. Because their metrics are based on so many different things. But guess what? When you align yourself with God, there's a perfection that happens. There's no judgment attached. It's more of you notice when you're in one, and that's the perfection itself. When you get out of it, you get back into it. So it is a constant realignment for perfect and divine You get what I'm saying? I'm going to conclude soon. By the way, this is a podcast. I need y'all to go subscribe to this. So you know how I say, I'm going to keep it real with you. You know how I say, like, I'm planting a bamboo tree. I planted the bamboo tree. It's underneath the ground. I need to get it up. Why? Because every time that my bamboo tree doesn't get higher, somebody else is not seeing it. Somebody needs this right now. They need it. That's why I'm here. Simple. So help me reach that person. That's why I asked y'all to share this video with 5 friends, comment done. But for me to reach that person, I need you to go follow and subscribe to my podcast. So you're like, damn, he adds so much value to me. Yes, I did. I know. I really did. So add some value to others. How? I just needed to go to my website, subscribe to the podcast, and leave a review. Like, a review is the most important. Somebody says, well, I don't know. I didn't listen to your podcast yet. Yes, you just did. Leave a review for this episode today. You get what I'm saying? Like, that would mean so much to me. Why? Because it will elevate the podcast. I want it to be number 1. In fact, I'm claiming it. It's going to be number 1 in the alternative medicine space. So I need your support. I need you to go, like, do this right after this. Like, don't procrastinate on it. Don't like, man, I'm going to do it later. Yo, literally, this literally takes like 5 minutes. You get what I'm saying? Like, I put in 40 minutes today. I just need to put in 5. Just for me. For me. For the world. So go to edtalksdaily.com reviews /reviews. Not only do now when you get there, it gives you a chance to leave the review natively on the website or on Apple Podcasts. If you have an iPhone, I need you to leave it on Apple Podcasts, not on my website. It doesn't do nothing on the website. I need you to go on Apple Podcasts and leave a review. Okay? Because that will then elevate it. This will cause this podcast to go up in the charts. And they will be able to reach more and more people. So support me so I can support the world. It means a lot to me. Okay? So once you give, it comes right back to you. So with that being said, I want to thank y'all for being here. Go subscribe to the podcast. Go leave a review. Share this to a friend. And you know, the world needs this. I know the world needs it. But you know what the world needs is not always what they seek. So what we can do is we can share it with them. And that's what I want to do. That's what I will continue to do. So share this podcast with a friend. Go subscribe to it and leave a review. Before I go in, I'm going to plug in a couple of things as I always do. And I need to because the world needs what I have. So a couple of things I'm going to plug into you is I do the podcast and you get this information. But if you want the transformation happens every day during Rise and Prime. Okay? Rise and Prime is the most powerful rising routine in the world. How you get yourself to get to a peak state of mind so you can experience life at a peak state. So this includes checking in with your mental, moving your body. It includes personal development and affirmations. This happens every single day at 7 a.m. on Zoom. Now, some people are apprehensive about coming because they're like, I don't want to turn my camera. I don't want to say nothing. Guess what? If you don't want to, I'm not going to force you. You don't have to. You could just come and be incognito and just do the things. Tap into the routine, will transform your life. That's what changed my life. That's why I created it. So you want to go to riseandprime.co in order to get that. That's riseandprime.co. You could get a free ticket Monday and Friday cut through. If you're not part of the tribe, you could only come 2 days out the week. But those who are part of the community can come any day out the week. So Rise and Prime is the most powerful routine. It's like having a self-care retreat in your backyard. I just finished that. I feel amazing. How do you think I'm bringing all this? I cultivated myself. So I'm like, go cultivate yourself. You're like, how? Well, I got the how. You got to come, though. Right? So first you try it, and then you decide whether you want to stay. And if you do, then you could join us. I'll let you know more about that after you tried it. So go to riseandprime.co and sign up. And you're like, yo, I'd love for you to send me some reminders when you have this happening, and because you know I think this is really dope. Yeah, sure, I'll give you some reminders. This is the final plugin. Just text me. 561-510-9605 is my community text number. It's not my personal number. It's a community text number. So it's gonna send you an opt-in. And you sign up. It's a legit thing. You know the celebrities be having it. I got it too. I'm not a celebrity. I just happen to have the same number. So you go to 561-510-9605. Just text Ed Talks, and I'll know that that's how you saw this, and I'll be like a coach in your pocket. So that's all of my announcements. I'll continue making them, of course, because the world needs what I got. So if you know somebody who can use everything I just shared, share it with them. Don't be selfish. Yo, I like this. I'm gonna keep it for myself. No. Give it to somebody else too. Like, yo, check out Ed. Check out the Holistic Motivator. I need you. I need your support. So with that being said, you stay blessed. You stay in your power. You keep cultivating the highest version of you. And remember, you gotta choose you. Nobody else gonna do it for you. Not your mama, not your sister, not your cousin, not your brother. Only you. And choosing you says, I'm going to do the best to align myself with the divine. I'm not going to seek for perfection in the eyes of man, but I'm seeking for perfection by aligning myself with God. That's true perfection. When you let God use you, you won't be abused by man. Remember, you have the unlimited power in you to achieve whatever it is that you want, to create the being to evolve and release the being that is within you. But first, you got to believe it in order to achieve it. And until that happens, the world forever miss all your gifts, all your talents, and all the great things you got to offer. So remember, let your light shine. Don't hide it. Don't dim it. Peace. Peace and love. Peace and love. I should have an outro music. Guess what? Wait, y'all stay true for... okay, don't go yet. Don't go yet. Don't go yet. Until I play the outro music. There's the outro music right there, baby. That's right. Elevate your mind.
Love is the joy that leads to salvation, ascension, and divine elevation.
Elevate your rhythm. Check out my plants. I just want to elevate your mind. Meditate and shine. Got my plants growing up in the backyard. I just want to elevate your mind. Meditate and shine.
Elevate your mind.
Elevate your mind. Open up your heart chakra. Elevate your mind. Open up your heart chakra. Elevate your mind. Open up your heart chakra. Elevate your mind.